Hi, everybody. Thank you for coming. We're happy to have you, and we're excited about this program. My name is Diane Wackel. I'm the Assistant Town Administrator here in Northborough. Angie over there is my assistant, sitting there. Next to her is Paul Gromer. He is with Mass Power Choice. Also, Marlena Patton is with Mass Power Choice. She's going to give the presentation. Whoops, tonight. I'm so sorry.
No worries, I got it.
All right, so Mass Power Choice is the town's energy consultant and a key partner in launching Northborough's Power Choice program. Mass Power Choice works with many municipalities across the Commonwealth to design and manage municipal electric aggregation programs. She's here to walk you through Northborough Power Choice program. It offers residents and businesses a more stable electricity supply rate and the opportunity to support clean energy. She'll also explain how the program works and what benefits Northborough can expect. After her presentation, we'll allow for questions. And I do want to let you know that this is being recorded live tonight so that we can do a playback on YouTube for people who weren't able to make it. And then I might also add, we do have another info session on Thursday at the Northborough Senior Center at 1 p.m. if you want to tell your friends. All right, thank you.
Is the senior center not here on the third?
It's at the Senior Center. Yep. Thank you.
Great, thanks, Diane. All right, I think I need to speak into the mic in order for the recording to work as well as it needs to. So I'm going to kind of hover here near the podium. But thank you all for coming. It's nice to see you. As Diane said, my name's Marlena Patton. I'm with Mass Power Choice, and we are a consulting company that works with cities and towns like Northborough, and we help them set up and then manage programs like this. We're an extra set of hands behind the scenes. So we helped Northborough deal with regulators, we helped Northborough deal with the electricity suppliers, and we also help answer questions from the public. So we're around kind of for the long term. And when you call customer support, it's us you're calling. So we know how to talk about these programs, we know how to answer questions. So we're in it for the long term with you folks. So I'm gonna go through a slide presentation. It's going to take about 20 minutes or so, and then we'll do questions afterwards. Hopefully, I'll answer most of your questions in the presentation, but I know you'll have more, and I'm happy to go over anything again and repeat it. So we'll start here on the cover slide. An introduction to Northborough Power Choice. You got that much. I just wanted to draw your attention to the bottom part, where it says an electricity program from the town for residents and business owners. So this program is specifically municipal in nature. It's not a program that a private company has bought to the town. It's a town program that's being offered as a service to the community, and it's specific for Northborough, meaning you have to be your account has to be in Northborough in order to participate. So it means somebody from another community cannot participate in this program. There are more than 200 cities and towns in the state with programs like this already. So this is very well trodden ground that Northborough is traveling on here, and you're in very good company. So you may know folks in other communities that have similar programs. They would not be able to participate in Northborough's, you wouldn't be able to participate in theirs. Everything is very special and specific for this community. And I should add, these programs are regulated by the state, so no funny business. All right, moving on. So what kind of program is it? The official name for it is a municipal electricity aggregation program, which is a mouthful. And if it leaves you as confused as that dog looks, another way to think about it is a form of group electricity purchasing. It's really building on the group buying power of the whole community. And it's a municipal alternative to the private electricity supply offers that are available in the marketplace. Some of you may already be enrolled in those offers. This is a public regulated alternative to those offers. So what's in it for you? Why participate? Well, a few key benefits. The first one is you get 3 new choices for the electricity supply part of your bill. So I'll just clarify for a moment here to say that this program impacts your national grid electric bill, and it impacts the electricity supply charge on the bill. That's specifically what this program does. So you're actually going to get 3 new choices for that part of your bill. Another big benefit is you're going to get stable prices. So when you're not in this program, if you have National Grid's price for the supply part of your bill, their price changes seasonally, every 6 months or less. It can go up, it can go down. Through Northborough Power Choice, you're going to get a 2-year fixed price that won't change seasonally, so it'll protect you from market volatility. It'll be fixed from May of this year until May of 2027, so it won't change in that time. And then another big benefit is at launch, the program prices are lower, or the default program price is lower than National Grid's residential price. So if you're participating as a residential customer, you're definitely going to save at launch. And you have the potential to save in the future because, as I said, National Grid's prices move around all the time, and very possibly they're going to go up. You're going to keep saving money. We just can't guarantee that, though, because National Grid's price could also drop a little bit, and Northborough's price is fixed. But most communities with programs like this do see some savings over time compared to National Grid's price. There was a big research project out of UMass Amherst not too long ago that showed that for the most part, communities do see some savings on average, but I just have to offer the caveat that we can't guarantee it. So one thing I like to get out up front, because this can cause confusion, is that Northborough Power Choice is not a replacement for National Grid as your electric utility. They're actually your electric utility no matter what. In Massachusetts, your electric utility is determined by where you live. In Northborough, National Grid owns your delivery infrastructure, your poles and your wires. So if you live here, they're going to be your electric delivery utility, and you don't have a choice in that. But what you do have a choice in is your electricity supplier. So that's the company that buys electricity and puts it on the grid on your behalf. So you do have a choice there, and that's where Northborough Power Choice comes in. So to explain a bit further, it can help to understand that there are actually 3 choices that consumers have for buying their electricity in Massachusetts. The first is if your utility buys your electricity for you. So that's called basic service. So when National Grid is buying your electricity for you, they're also delivering it. They're providing you with 2 services. That's kind of the default scenario when you first open your electricity account if you don't make any other choices. You get National Grid's basic service price for the supply part of your bill. That's the price that changes seasonally that I mentioned a minute ago. It can go up and down. So your second option is you sign a private contract with one of these electricity supply companies in the marketplace, and some of you may have already done that. And if you do that, National Grid is still your electric delivery utility. They're still delivering your electricity. They're still sending your bill. But when they calculate the supply charge on your bill, they use the price from that company to do it. Your third option is if the town signs a contract with one of those third-party electricity supply companies instead of you personally signing the contract. In that case, National Grid is still your utility. They're still delivering your electricity and sending your bill. But when they calculate the supply charge on your bill, they use the price that the town got through that contract to calculate the supply charge on your bill. So that is what aggregation is, and that's what Northborough Power Choice is. So the next 2 slides are just pictures of what I was just describing in case pictures help. They help me. So this is a picture of basic service. So this is when National Grid is providing you with 2 services, delivery and supply. So they're delivering your electricity and they're buying it for you. And so you see them over here on the left doing 2 things, supply and delivery together, and you're on the right, the customer, you're receiving the electricity, and you have their basic service price for the supply part of your bill. So, let me just go back a sec. This is when Northborough Power Choice is in place. This is what an aggregation looks like. You'll see that the diagram looks pretty similar, and in fact, the right 2/3 is exactly the same. National Grid is delivering your electricity, and you're the customer, and there's no interruption or change in their relationship to you or with you. The change is over here on the left where you see supply. It's just in a different color. And that's because we have a new entity that's buying the electricity and putting it on the grid. It's not National Grid anymore. This time, with Northborough Power Choice in place, it's First Point Power that's going to be buying the electricity and putting it on the grid for you. So I mentioned at the beginning that one of the big benefits in the program is new choices. Seems like I'm missing something on this slide. There it is. Is 3 new choices for the supply part of your bill. So this slide is about what those choices are. If we look all the way on the left, we have Northborough Economy. That is what's called the default in the program. It says auto-enroll under it. So that's the one you get if you don't make any other choice in the program. The town had to choose the one you get if you enroll and you don't make any other choices. It's the cheapest one. The price is 13.964 cents per kilowatt hour. And you can compare that to National Grid's current residential price all the way over on the right. That's their basic service price with 14.672 cents a kilowatt hour. So you can see that the economy price is lower than National Grid's price. You have 2 other choices in the program. They're available by request, so you have to ask for them. You don't get them automatically. One is Northborough Green. With that, you get an additional 20% of your electricity from renewable sources. So I should back up here and just mention that state law requires that all electricity that's sold in the state include a minimum amount from renewable sources like solar and wind. But if you would like to buy more of your electricity from renewable sources, you can choose the Northborough Green option, pay a little bit more, and get an additional 20% from renewable sources. And the minimum amount, I didn't mention, the minimum amount this year is 63%. If you would like to get all of your electricity from renewable sources, if that's really important to you, you can pay, again, a little bit more and choose the Green Plus option. So that's a 100% renewable option. So it means you're buying 100% of your electricity from renewable sources, and that's what's getting put on the grid for you. Yes, state minimum this year. Yep.
For Massachusetts.
Yes, that's for Massachusetts. That's correct. You can choose, you can switch back and forth between options anytime you like in the program. So you can start with economy and later change your mind to green, or you could start with green or green plus, down the road decide that's not right for you, change to economy. There's no problem there.
Are those prices fixed as well?
They are, that's a great segue, I was just about to mention. All the prices are fixed for 2 years from May 2025 to May 2027. In comparison, National Grid's prices change. That's a 6-month price. They change every 6 months or less. So National Grid's prices are in effect from February 1 to July 31st. They'll next change on August 1st, and we don't know what they're going to change to. Now, where does it show up on your bill? Are you going to see a bunch of change on your bill? Not really. So this is an example of where you're going to see the change on your bill. You're going to see where it says, first of all, you're going to look for supply services. So that means skipping the whole first part of your bill, which is the delivery services portion. Those are regulated charges, and unfortunately, we cannot do anything about those. Those are negotiated between National Grid and the state, and none of us has any control over those. We're going to focus on the supply services part, which is usually at the bottom of the first page or on the second page of your bill if you're looking at an actual bill. So this is where you pay for the electricity you use. And you'll see the supplier name, which is First Point Power, will appear as your supplier, their contact information. And then on that electricity supply line there, you're going to see the price for the option that you're enrolled in the program. Now, on the previous slide, when I showed you the prices, the decimal was in a different place. It was 13.964. In here, it's 0.13964. So don't let that throw you. On the bill, the price is presented in dollars, but when we talk about it, it's easier to say 13.964 cents. But it's the same number. So you're going to see these changes on your bill. But otherwise, you're really not going to see any changes. And that's one of the nice things about these programs is they're really pretty invisible and seamless for consumers. So your primary relationship for electricity remains with National Grid just like it is now. They're still delivering your electricity. You're still calling them if the power goes out. They're still sending your bill, and you're not going to get any additional bills or additional fees as a result of this program. And if you're eligible for any discounts from National Grid, like a low-income discount, you're still going to receive that discount as a participant in Northborough Power Choice. Now, how does participation work? Well, it's easy because for most people, it's going to be automatic. So let me talk about that for a minute. State law says all the programs like this work with an automatic enrollment model. So every one of the more than 200 programs already up and running in the state work that way, and Northborough's will work that way too. Specifically, what it means is if you have National Grid's basic service, meaning you do not have a private contract with an electricity supplier, your account would be eligible for automatic enrollment in this program in May, and you'd see the price on your June bill. The exception to that is if you have asked National Grid to put a block on your account to prevent enrollment with an electricity supplier. Some people will do that because they get frustrated with all the marketing that's out there. If you've done that and you have National Grid's basic service, you would not be eligible for automatic enrollment, but you could request enrollment. You just have to take a step to do it. But for the vast majority of electricity customers in Northborough, if you have National Grid's basic service, you're going to be eligible for automatic enrollment in May and see the price on your bill in June. If your account is eligible for automatic enrollment, you should have received a notice in the mail already from the town with the town seal and this logo on it, and you would have seen those pricing circles already.
There was no way for this program to be offered with opt-in as opposed to opt-out?
State law does not work that way. And you also probably would not have gotten a competitive price. If the supplier had to wait for people to make up their mind about whether they were going to participate or not, there's a lot of risk for them that they're going to get very low participation. And they would have bid a much higher price in order to cover that risk. So.
It seems a little slimy, like the credit card offers where they offer you a low interest rate for the first 6 months, but then you have to opt out after that when the rate jumps.
Well, you can opt out anytime, so that's actually the, you do, yep. But that is, as I said, how all the programs like this in the state work. So participation is not required. You can opt out if you're eligible for automatic enrollment. You can choose not to participate and opt out before being enrolled. Or if you want to try the program, you're thinking, well, I'm saving money now, maybe I'll try it for a few months. You can opt out later at any time, and there's never any minimum participation period or early termination fee. And that makes the program different from some of those private offers that are out there in the marketplace that say, well, we'll give you a cheap price, but you got to sign up with us for a year, and if you try to break that, we'll charge you $150. It doesn't work that way with this program or with any of these programs. So you can always leave anytime, so you're never locked in. Now, what if you don't have basic service and you've signed a private contract with an electricity supplier? So I've been talking a lot about people on basic service. But what if that's not you? You signed a private contract, you didn't get a notice in the mail. What about you? Well, you can participate. It's just that you're not going to be automatically enrolled. And that seems fair. You've made a decision for yourself. Why should that be torn up and thrown away? So if you want to participate and you have a private contract, you just need to go on the website or call customer support and provide your account information, and we'd be happy to get you enrolled. You don't have to break your current contract to do that, though. So let's say you have another 6 months left on your contract and you have a great price and you really don't want to get out of it, or maybe you've got one of those big early termination fees and it really doesn't seem cost effective to quit your contract. But you think maybe this would be a nice option once your contract ends. You can enroll whenever your contract ends and you'll still get the program price. So you just wait and enroll when you're ready. Just give us a call when you're in the last billing cycle of your contract. Now, what if you have solar panels or you're in community solar and you're getting credits on your bill? Is any of that going to change? And the answer is no. This program doesn't have any impact on or connection to those credits. They still get calculated the same way they always have, and they still get put on your bill the same way they always have.
Question. During an outage, do I call National Grid still, or would I call First Point?
You still call National Grid, same as always. They're still your utility. As I mentioned, if you have a low-income discount or you get fuel assistance, you're still going to get those with no change. And if you have National Grid's budget plan, which is when National Grid estimates your electricity use over a period of time and you pay roughly the same thing every month, that also doesn't change. You still get National Grid's budget plan. No change there. If- Correct. No change and no action needed. You got it. Whoops. So this is just the last slide, which is just to show you the website. Well, the top half of it is the website. There are a lot of resources on the website. If you remember nothing from this presentation, just remember northboroughpowerchoice.com because you can do a lot there. In the upper right corner, you'll see 3 buttons: enroll, change your option, opt out. There's some simple forms there, which I can show you in just a second if you haven't seen them, where you put your account information in so you can make these choices yourself. There's a page with prices. There's information about participating and what it means, including a lot of these things that I said about the low-income discount or things that apply or do not apply. There's also a calculator on there where you could compare the current prices and what your average monthly price would be to the most recent 12-month average from National Grid, because National Grid's prices are always changing, and a 12-month average is sometimes a better comparison. And then there's a bunch of other resources. I mentioned that we're providing customer support, so if you call this number, one of my colleagues would be happy to answer your questions. But otherwise, I see questions, so I'm just wrapping this up. And I'd be happy to answer any questions in general. Yeah, so go ahead.
Is that link and information on the town website?
Yeah, there is a town page that links to this, to Northborough Power Choice. Yep, absolutely, yes.
The 3 choices, and they're going to increase after a couple of years, do they all increase at the same level? Let's just say it's a 5% increase. Do they all increase at 5, or is of the 3, can any of them increase at a different rate?
So just to make sure that the mic picked up what you said, you're asking about the 3 options and them increasing. Are you asking about their prices increasing? What is the increase you're thinking of?
My price increases.
I see. So they're not necessarily going to increase. It really depends on where the market goes.
If it does.
So what happens is Northborough would go out to bid when this contract ends that fixes all 3 prices, and it would get a new set of prices for all 3 options that would be fixed for some other duration. We don't know the length of the next contract, but they all change in concert. They don't change. There's no variability. So they all change at the same time, but whether they increase or decrease, we can't say. It will depend on where the electricity market is when Northborough goes out to get the next set of prices.
But up or down, whatever option you're on of the 3, if you choose to be in the program, it's the same.
All 3 of them change.
So his question is, if the first one increases by 2%, do the rest, or could they increase by 5, go down by 7?
Oh, I see. Do they all change by the same percentage? Well, if Northborough has the freedom to change the renewable energy content. So if Northborough changes, for example, that middle one, if we go back to, shield your eyes so that you don't, I know this is hard to watch. Okay, let's go here. So this one has an extra 20% from renewable sources in it. Northborough could decide with the next contract to change that number. Could change to 30% or 15%, whatever the town wants to do. So that means that the underlying price, the base price, this is going to be the same across the board, but the extra renewable, the cost for renewable energy could be different next time just because maybe that piece has changed. So there could be variability in that way.
But even if you kept all
Excuse me. I'm going to ask people with your questions. We're going to ask you to use the microphone.
even if all the renewable percentages stayed the same, they could each go up different amounts depending on the price of renewables, correct?
That's correct, yes. So renewable, the base price, to back up, the prices are built, they're made of 2 big components.
Right.
There's the cost of the base price for electricity, and then there's the cost for renewable energy. Actually, there's three components. There's the base price for electricity, there's the renewable energy required by the state, and that's the same for everybody. And then there's the extra voluntary renewable energy purchased for the Northborough Green and the Green Plus options. So that voluntary renewable energy piece could be variable, and it could change in a different way than the base price changes.
So back to his question, then, for example, the auto enroll price now, in 2 years, that could go up, let's say, by 1%. But the next option could go down by 2%, and the one after that could go up by 6%.
Well, the base price, the auto enroll price, is a part of the Green and the Green Plus prices.
Okay,
They just have the cost of extra renewable energy layered on top of that price.
okay.
So if that price goes up, they're all going to go up some.
But it's just the percentage we don't know.
We just don't know, correct.
Okay,
And
thank
the extra renewable energy adds an extra variable. But I would like to say that when the prices change, it's not going to be a secret. So it's a regulatory requirement that the town has to provide notice when prices change. So that's another way that a program like this is different from those private offers. With the private offers, you sign a contract, and if you forget the date that your contract ends and you kind of roll past it, they often move you to monthly variable pricing that can be really high, and it can bounce around a lot. And maybe you didn't even see it coming. It's not like they're going to tell you we're going to double or triple your price. But these programs are regulated. And it is actually a regulatory requirement that the town be public about price changes. So they will have to make a public announcement before the prices change, at least 30 days before the prices change. So it shouldn't be a big surprise. Yes. Oh, sorry. Wait, sorry. The microphone's over there. We got to go with the mic because of the recording.
Just to reiterate.
Yes.
The Northborough economy is fixed for 2 years at 13.964.
Yes, the Northborough economy is fixed for 2 years, correct.
And then the rest of them, well, the other two options can fluctuate up and down.
No, all three prices are fixed for 2 years. It's only National Grid's price that bounces around, the one we're
Oh, okay,
comparing
I
it
thought-
to. He was asking about just generally in the future, how might they
Oh,
change?
they're all going to change in the future.
Right, in 2 years, how might they change? That's the
Okay.
question. But for 2 years, all three prices will be fixed.
Right. And just to let everybody know, in 2024, going back for National Grid, it was 18 point something, so.
Yeah, well, it was 33 just a few years before that. So yeah, it can bounce around a lot. It's true. Yep.
So 2 years from let's say after 6 months, National Grid changes their price from 1467 to 14, for example, or they come below the economy. Can I switch back to National Grid?
You can always leave the program. Yep,
Okay.
anytime.
And my question is about the Northborough Green and Green Plus. Why would somebody sign up for those when they're already higher than the basic price of National Grid?
Through those, you're buying more of your electricity from renewable sources. So it's really about what's important to you. It doesn't change the quality of the electricity coming into your house. It's just if you want to support renewable energy, some people do, and they want to pay a little bit more to do that.
So last question. My current bill of National Grid has a charge for electric car charge, and I don't own it, so I don't know why there must be others too. Why am I getting charged when I don't have an electric car?
If it's under your delivery services portion of your bill, that's going to be a regulated charge.
They are charging separately for the electric car charging.
I would call National Grid about that. Or if you have your bill with you, you could bring it over.
All right, thank you.
If it's under your delivery services portion of your bill, then that's the regulated part of the bill. Oh yeah, the electric vehicle charge. Yeah, that's a regulated charge. That's a regulated charge. Paul, do you know what the electric vehicle charge goes toward?
It supports the cost of National Grid's electric vehicle program and pays for car charging. If I don't own an electric car, I should not be charged. Is that simple as that?
That may be, and I can see the validity of that point.
we can't do anything about
Not our-
that. That's
it's National
between you
Grid.
and National Grid. That's, if it's on the delivery part of the bill, this program doesn't affect it one way or the other.
Yeah. This program, just to be clear, again, this program only impacts the price you pay for the supply charge, because that's the only part of the bill that consumers have control over. Yes? We cannot impact the rest of the bill. We can only impact the supply services part of the bill. That's it. Yes?
So after they raise the price in 2027, how often are they going to raise it after that?
Who's they? This program?
Our choice.
Well, we don't know if the price is going to go up or down. The town will go out to bid, and it will depend on where the electricity market is. If the electricity market looks favorable, the prices could go down. They'll just go out to bid, and they'll get competitive prices from the electricity suppliers that are bidding, and they'll choose the one that provides the best value for the town. But really, it's where the market is. And we certainly, I don't have a crystal ball, but there's no guarantee that the electricity market's going to always go up. Sometimes it goes up, sometimes it goes down.
Now, is it going to go per month after that, 27, or?
No, the town's intention is to sign another long-term fixed-price contract. So that's one of the big benefits of these municipal programs, is they're different from the private offer. So with the private offer, you finish your contract, and it often rolls over to monthly variable pricing. For municipal programs, they typically sign long-term contracts. They're usually longer than a year or longer. This one is 2 years. So the typical lengths that we see are somewhere between like 18 months and 3 years. Those are the typical lengths for these programs. When the town goes out to bid, it'll get a series of prices from a bunch of different suppliers for different contract lengths. And maybe the next time an 18-month contract provides the best value for the town, or maybe the next time a 30-month contract provides the best value for the town. So the town will make that decision once it sees the prices. And again, whether they go up or down will just depend on bigger factors than we can control, like where the electricity market is.
No, you do, excuse me.
Opt out, and then opt back in, and then opt back out? Can you keep going back and forth?
So the question is, can you bounce back and forth?
Thank you.
So you can leave the program and you can come back in, but the program is not designed for people to bounce around. So there's one big caveat, which is if you opt out and you want to come back in during the same contract, you're not guaranteed the program price. You might get it, but the supplier has the right to charge you a market price if the electricity market has increased. And you would just need to ask at that time. You would never be enrolled in a price that wasn't one of these prices without your consent. So if you were to opt out and you wanted to come back, just give us a call and ask, would you get this price or a market price? We would always tell you, and then it would be your choice whether to accept that market price or not.
Excuse me. Oh, I'll be right back.
And another alternative, if you opt out of the program before the 2 years, you could wait until the next enrollment period in May 2027 and then see what the rates are then?
Yeah, so if you opt out for the duration of this through May 27,
Right.
and then a new contract goes into place, and you wanted to re-enroll with that new contract startup, that would be no problem.
So as long as this program is available to Northborough, you can always enroll in it during the open enrollment period then?
When the price is new, yes.
Okay.
And just to explain why, when the electricity supplier signs the contract and locks in the prices, they go out and they buy the electricity right then at that price. If you bounce back and forth, they sell it off once you leave. You come back, you want the cheap price, they got to buy it for you at a more expensive price, they're going to lose money. So that's why this caveat exists. But when a new contract goes into effect, the new price is the market price. So it's fine for old people to come back in at that point.
So just to ask the obvious question, at least obvious to me, is between what's on the screen for Northborough Economy and National Grid is less than 1 cent. Is that because you're better negotiators than National Grid, or what would account for that difference?
I wish it was that. I wish it was like skill, but it's actually because the town has a couple of advantages that National Grid doesn't have. The town can decide when it wants to go out to bid, and National Grid has to do it on a strict schedule dictated by the state. And the town can also choose the duration of the contract that provides the best price, and National Grid has to buy things in 6-month blocks.
Hi. I have a contract with a different supplier. I don't know when my contract is up, so I'll have to check that. Can you just review what you said, please, about, because I would like to enroll in this. Can you just review that process, please?
Yeah, absolutely. So if you'd like to enroll, well, first, I would double check and make sure you're not going to get charged an early termination fee. I think that's the big thing. If you decide you'd like to enroll at the end of the contract, so you don't want to break it, I would say give us a call when you're inside the last billing cycle of the contract. So if your supplier tells you, well, this contract's going to end on October 15th, then I would give us a call the first couple of weeks after September 15th. If you call before that last billing cycle, there's a chance you'll get pulled out one billing cycle too soon and break it. And if you wait till you're right before that contract ends, we might not have enough time to get you enrolled because there's a whole behind-the-scene process. So I would say in the last billing cycle, call the first couple weeks of that last billing cycle.
So then my rate would be this, or my rate would be what the rate is at the time?
So if you're not eligible for automatic enrollment now, which is you would get the same price. The only time you're at risk of not getting this price is if you opt out and then want to come back in. And opting out is defined as either you actually participate in the program and then you leave, or you're offered participation as automatic enrollment and you decline.
Thank you.
Yeah. She's got the mic.
Yeah, first question.
This is just a process-oriented question about opting out. Generally, opting into something is usually easier than opting out. And I have a nightmare pictured of trying to get through to people, or whatever your process is for opting out, should one choose. And it has nothing to do with the contract period. Just what is it like to opt out? Is that going to be difficult?
No. So let's see. If we just jump, you have a few different ways to do it. One is on the website. So if you go to the website and you see the little blue button up there in the corner that says opt out, you can just fill out this short form with your account information, hit submit. So that's one way. If you're not comfortable with that and you want someone to help you with the form, you can call customer support and we'll fill it out for you. Or if you were eligible for automatic enrollment and you received a notice in the mail, you can fill out that card. And you don't have to fill out the card right now. You can hang on to it, and a few months later you can fill it out. But it's very straightforward. If you choose to enroll and you opt out after you're enrolled, it typically takes 2 bills before you see it on your bill, and that's because of how National Grid does things. They don't make changes in the middle of a billing cycle. So you may submit your opt-out request while you're in the middle of your billing cycle. You'll finish that billing cycle, get billed for it, and then the next billing cycle is the first one where you're not in the program, and you see it on your bill at the end of that billing cycle.
Do you see something similar to do with the Eversource for the gas?
No, these are only for electric programs.
Future plans to save some more money for the Northborough residents.
I haven't heard anything about gas aggregations. People ask that a lot. It'd be nice. I certainly would like it for my own gas bill, yeah.
Maybe you can take it up with the township too.
I'm very influential, so I'm sure I'll be successful. Yeah.
The state would need to have a law to allow that before we as a town could offer it. It's a good idea.
Yeah, I would love it.
Any other questions?
Okay, all right, well, if you want to come up and ask questions, you can.
Yep. And thank you
Yeah,
very
thanks
much
for
for
coming.
coming.
Thanks for
We
your
appreciate it.